Happy Thanksgiving and welcome back to the Donk and Dreamy show. I'm Donk.
This is Dreamy.
Our real names are Spencer and Jordan, respectively, and we're just two Broncos fans who last week we introduced the Screaming Pillow, and this week I'm bringing it back. I know we were on bye.
We're bringing it back.
Somebody had to go against stupid freaking Jonathan Taylor last week in fantasy and
Okay. This is only fantasy? Is this what we're doing it for?
No,
has it come to this? Has it come to this?
Frame right now. I'm not in a good place, Jordan.
All right, I'm so sorry.
Standard, I still had 50 points dropped on me. It's just like even on a bye week, I couldn't have just some kind of football hope. It's just mean and cruel of the football gods.
I'll tell you what. Austin Eckler did some fantastic wonders for me.
Team, and he's
could have had him. I'm just saying.
I could have if this league wasn't full of people that knew exactly what they're doing. Anyways, we've got a show for you guys. We are a Denver Broncos show. We're not a fantasy football show. We're not even a normal football show. But let's go ahead and get right into it.
We are the best show.
Yeah, we got a great show for you guys today. So, like I said, let's go ahead and get right into it. Some pretty big,
let's do it.
Would normally be off-season moves in the Elway era, but we are now in the George Payton era. And along with that, we are actually making actual deals in the middle of the season. For example, we signed Tim Patrick to a 3-year.
Let's go.
May I submit a new nickname for him? Timmy Payday.
Okay. We will put that on the approved nicknames list for Tim Patrick.
Perfect.
But yes.
Anyways, he signs a 3-year, $34.5 million deal with $18.5 million guaranteed. Not only that, I'm happy to say, folks, I was wrong. Courtland Sutton signed a 4-year, $60.8 $34.9 million guaranteed. I mean, let's go ahead and bring out the obvious. What is this meaning for the future of the Broncos? George Payton has come out with a quote saying, basically, we have the pieces, we have the cap space to make whatever kind of moves we want. What do you think this implies for the offseason moves our general manager plans to make this offseason?
Well, let's just call it like it is. Tim Patrick, I've been singing the guy's praises. We've been singing the guy's praises for so long, right? And it was only a matter of time. It really was only a matter of time before the Broncos started listening to this show and were like, hey, we got to go ahead and re-sign Timmy P to that extension. And they listened to our wishes, and Mr. Tim Patrick is officially going to be a Bronco for the long term. And Spencer, I don't know about you, but I'm very happy about that. Congratulations once again to Tim Patrick. May I remind everybody, an undrafted free agent that the Ravens and the 49ers passed on their practice squad. So we're very much grateful for the Ravens and 49ers for making that mistake. And Courtland Sutton, my guy. We had to go ahead and get Courtland Sutton back on this team. We had to make sure he was an important part of our future. And what this really means in terms of the long-term picture, I still believe Denver is going to get to the playoffs. We're only 5-5. Of course, we'll talk about the Chargers here in a little bit. But we're also thinking about the future. And when you really think about it, locking up Sutton and locking up Patrick is a matter of speaking, locking up our future for the foreseeable, short, midterm picture, the next 2, 3, 4 years. And I'm certain you can agree with me, but these particular extensions were well deserved by both of these wide receivers who have contributed very nicely to, the inconsistencies you can talk about in our Denver offense. Of course, we could certainly bring that up, but I'm not bringing it up today. Today is a good day for Denver Broncos fans, and we certainly should go ahead and celebrate those particular signings.
Yeah, and I think you're right. It was definitely our show that got this going.
Absolutely.
With our whole one follower on
Absolutely.
Twitter. By the way, we are on Twitter. You can follow us at Donk and Dreamy. We'll let you know when new episodes and live streams are up. And
We have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's right. We're also on YouTube. You're probably watching us here now. Welcome in. All right, so
welcome into our lovely. You know what? Welcome into our lovely audience. Come on now.
Yeah, let's welcome them all in with a nice big hug. Anyways, so going back to offseason discussion before we talk about we are previewing the Chargers game, of course.
Absolutely.
But for me, this shows that we're basically sticking with Sutton, Judy, and Patrick for sure as our core. Hamler is still on his rookie deal. And if I've got my math here correctly, these are basically all going to converge at one point, which is where Jerry Jeudy, we pick up his fifth-year option, his contract, and
of course.
Tim Patrick's contracts will be expiring at the same time, and then we got Courtland's a year later. And then Hamler, is he the odd man out? We'll just kind of have to wait and see. This kind of, I feel like even without any one of these guys, our wide receiver core will be fine. I think Hamler's speed does bring a aspect to our core that we don't have without him. He's kind of a unique piece that we have.
My question is that durability part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
We got to talk about
that. Concern. and for me, this also shows, George Payton is absolutely 100% going to try to get a quarterback this offseason, whether that's getting someone like Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson.
You think so?
If I'm going to put those on the probability scale, I'm putting Aaron Rodgers 40%, Russell Wilson 10%. I don't really think Russell Wilson's leaving.
Can we first focus on this here and the fact that Teddy Bridgewater or Drew Lock, one of those quarterbacks, is going to lead us to a playoffs, and then we can go ahead and, quiet down the quarterback talk for just a little bit.
Here's the problem with that. We didn't beat the Eagles. The Eagles, in fact, smashed us at home.
That was
sorry.
then.
If we had beat the Eagles, I'd be way more confident
now.
in that happening. But I just don't see it.
We did smash the Cowboys.
The Cowboys. And then the next week we watched Teddy failed to tackle a dude after we fumbled the ball on 4th and 1.
Okay,
he's not going to be the quarterback next year, and even if he is, there is going to be a rookie sitting behind him that he's going to be expected to basically mentor, to teach, and to have him learn from a vet on how to prepare for the game and what kind of locker room presence is expected. He's going to be a bridge quarterback at best.
So it sounds like it's a lock for you that Drew Lock won't be in the bigger picture. No pun intended.
No, we saw him last season. That's enough for me.
Are you sure?
At this point, we don't have the coach. There's no guarantee that we're going to have a coaching staff that's going to be able to play to his strengths. Not to mention his development's kind of shot anyways. From having the weird off seasons that he's had, quote unquote weird, even though rookies succeeded in the same stunted COVID off season that we had last year. And then even then, if we have a new coaching staff, which we probably will, considering that our chances of making playoffs get slimmer and slimmer as the weeks go by, there's no guarantee that they're going to like Locke anyways.
I say we are still in the thick of things. In terms of playoff chances getting slimmer week by week, Spencer, Donk, my dear Frere, the Broncos are making the playoffs. It's already a written guarantee. We got to go ahead and, we got to breathe in, smell the positive energy. We got to smell in that atmosphere and realize that we have had, right now for Broncos country, we should be pumped right now because we got another we had the bad game against the Eagles for sure, no doubt about that. But we had a bye week to rest. Like I said, I really do hope, as I mentioned last episode, the Broncos kind of reeled it in, got themselves together, and realized, okay, what was working for us and what was not working for us, and we were going to go ahead and take that energy, and we were going to go ahead and we're going to do what we will when we talk about the Chargers here in a little bit. But I'm going to say everything is all right in Broncos country. We're 5-5. We're above 500. We haven't been at this point in the Vic Fangio era, since Vic Fangio has taken over as head coach for the team. So I do want to go ahead and let's pump the brakes and let's get a little bit of optimism, for the Broncos season this year.
Well, first off, we're not above 500. We're at 500. But anyways, who do you think is the head? Okay, I'm going to ask you basically a two-part question. Who do you want the head coach to be next season, and who do you think is going to be the head coach next season?
And I'm going to go ahead and answer two of those questions with the same answer.
Oh, no.
Vic Fangio.
No, God damn it.
But here's why. Hear me out. Hear me out.
All right, I'm hearing you.
Hear me out.
I got
hear me out.
Open.
Hear me out.
I'm hearing you.
Hear it out. Hear it out. Ready?
I'm hearing it.
Vic Fangio, when he is the coach next year, it means that the Broncos had a great year. We got into the playoffs, and everyn was hunky dory.
Oh, yes.
Whether or not we win that wild card game, it shows that we are growing and we are moving in the right direction. So as long as I can go ahead and see that this particular year, which I do envision that we will, again, this is the best start that we've had in the Vic Fangio era thus far. So if we go ahead and we win the rest of the season out like I predict the Broncos will, we get into the wild card, we make a little bit of noise, Vic Fangio keeps his job, and that's a plus for me. Oh, what about you?
Well, I just don't think Fangio has it as a head coach. He keeps making bad decisions. He keeps challenging plays that don't need to be challenged. And then that puts him in a situation where he can't challenge plays that need to be challenged. I just don't think, he's a very good defensive mind, clearly a smart football guy, just not cut out to be a head coach. And it's an unfortunate fact, it's a rare skill for people to have. And he's just not one of those people. So for me right now, I really want it to be Kellen Moore. I'm still on that train.
Okay.
However, it's hard for me because that's like pie in the sky fan dream option. Those are rarely what actually happens. So for me, I'm trying to temper my expectations and try to think of an alternative candidate. I've heard? Although I have, sorry, what?
You know what I've heard in the rumor mill? In the Broncos rumor mill, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I've been hearing that the Broncos might be eyeing, and this is going to probably make you get your screaming pillow back. But we're looking at Dan Quinn to be our head coach.
Yeah, no, I straight up not watching that, not watching it. I love the Broncos, but that would be the dumbest move, and that would immediately put me on the anti-George Payton train. I do think.
Oh, I see.
I do think we'll be going back to what would essentially amount to a retread coach, but I don't think it's going to be Dan Quinn. I think Payton is smart enough to not do that. I do think he's going to go for Doug Peterson, actually. That's a name that I've seen floated around or not, and the timelines match up. And yeah,
now
I'm not sure if it would pan out, to be honest, but I mean, I'll let you say your piece on him first before.
Now, if we go to Doug Peterson, so let's say that Doug Peterson, and again, that's not my ideal scenario, but let's just say this is my second ideal scenario, right? If we do go with Doug Peterson, that's going to be an offensive-minded head coach. And the last offensive-minded head coach that we had got us to a winning record. So at least we'll have that. We'll look forward to some potential changes in our offense and get to that winning record, maybe get to a playoff berth. But again, that's the second ideal scenario, of course. Because I do believe that Vic Fangio will still be the head coach next year.
I mean, I think either way, it needs to be an offensive-minded head coach. I've said this before.
Yeah.
That's just how the rules of the game are structured now. It favors offense way more than defense. You have a much better advantage. I mean, look at the Chiefs. They won a Super Bowl when, in my opinion, they didn't have the better defense in that game, but they definitely had the better offense.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go ahead and preview the Chargers game.
All right.
Chargers have been on kind of a up and down cycle, especially since they're down week or their bye week. It's been mostly down for them, but they looked pretty good against the Steelers on Sunday night. So, Jordan, I'm guessing you think we're going to win this game. Go ahead and give me a score prediction.
Oh, totally. We are beating the Los Angeles Chargers at home, mind you. I do believe it's going to be being played in Mile High Stadium. And when I look at this game, again, what I really, really preach right here is not the fact that our offense is going to be scoring 30, 35, 40 points. No, I am going to be looking for a close, defensive-minded struggle. I do need to go ahead and respect the fact that the Chargers defense is pretty good. Joey Bosa and company on that particular team. My final thoughts on a Broncos victory is going to be 20-13. Denver takes it.
Okay. Yeah, I think if we beat the Chargers, either way, with the way our offense is, that being putrid, any score where we win is going to involve us having less than 30 points and the other opponent having less than 20. And so they've got as their head coach Brandon Staley, who was our outside linebackers coach previously.
Yep.
I think that will actually give them a slight advantage. He might have a better insight onto Fangio's tendencies and how to counteract them. They also have a high-powered offense that can really gas our defense out. On top of that, depending on which version of our offense comes out, that's the real big question here is which version of the Broncos are we going to see on Sunday? Are we going to see what we saw against the Cowboys where things are connecting, the offense is getting things clicking, they're running some sort of, designed plays? Or are we going to see what we saw last week where it's just same old, really dumb plays? And part of, that is that Pat Shurmur wasn't calling the plays last week. That that's much of an improvement, but things were clearly worse, at least with the person that they picked, Mike Shula. We ranted about that in last week's episode, so I won't retread. I won't beat a dead horse. But yeah, for me personally, if we had beat the Eagles, this would be a completely different story. I'd be way more confident going into this game. But I think the Chargers beat us, and then I think the Chiefs beat us, and then I think we've got a couple of get-right games with the Lions and the Bengals. I think those will be fine. And we've got 3 divisional matchups to close out the rest of the schedule as we know it, and those will be the games where we have kind of a second chance to get back into things. But yeah, I definitely think this will be a really close game. Probably will come down to a field goal, and yeah, for me, I don't know if I'm going to pick a score. I know I said it would probably come down to a field goal, but you know what? I'm going to go with 37-13 Chargers.
Whoa. You hold on. Hold on.
We're going to see the good version of the Chargers this week.
Oh, I don't think so. I think Denver will answer the call, will answer the bell.
You think Teddy will tackle someone this time?
I don't think Teddy will need to tackle anyone because he'll play a much better job at the quarterback position.
Well,
I do,
and also, maybe we should give Javonte more touches considering he fumbles the ball less frequently than Melvin Gordon does.
And
also he's a better running back at me. You can have me all. And Donk and Dreamy, follow us on Twitter and at me about this. I'll have this argument.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm not arguing with you. I will say this. I think a blowout against the Chargers, a divisional rival at home, when we're doing all right at 5-5. I think that's a little bit overzealous. A little bit overzealous on the Donk side right there. I'm going to need you to go ahead and really tune into your dreamy side, if you will.
I need you to go ahead and do that. They actually have an actual winning record, not a technically winning record. They've actually been at top of the division at one point this season. Mm-hmm. They've actually looked really good against good teams instead of us just looking really good against bad teams and the Cowboys.
So did Dallas.
I just think they're a better team than us this season, and that definitely sucks to say. But that's just kind of the reality of things, and that's what I'm here for, is to be the cold, hard acid rain of reality, and I'm dropping some acid on you, buddy.
Well, don't worry, Broncos country. I am here to drop the positive, warm, jolly, pre-St. Nick holiday vibes that's going to go ahead and allow us to celebrate a fantastic victory.
Thanksgiving holiday vibes? Is that what
after
you mean?
the thing? Well, it's going to be a little bit after Thanksgiving,
I guess,
so I'm going to go with holiday vibes.
But we can enjoy the vibes of watching the Lions or the Bears lose. That's going to be fun, right?
To be fair, does anyone want to watch that game?
I'm going to watch that game. I'm going to the house of a Bears fan, so it'll be fun to
Spencer.
See his sadness.
It's going to be Andy Dalton versus. I don't even know who the quarterback is for Detroit at this point. Is it going to be Jared Goff, or is it going to be that other
it's
guy?
Not Tyler Boyd. Tim Boyle. That's who it is.
Oh, let me get my
Tim Boyle.
Can I get my Snoop Dogg meme going here? Who? I no disrespect. I'm sure this guy works hard in the NFL, but
he's
who?
Been a perennial backup. But I remember last year when it was David Blau, and why not bring that guy back? He had a fun last name. If you're gonna have to play it back up just on Thanksgiving, you're the Lions. Just give us fun last name, guy. Okay, don't give us the Boyle.
As much
How
fun
can
as
any
I
fan
have,
be like, oh, we got Boyle playing and feel good about that?
As much fun as I'm having with this particular game, I do hope that Andy Dalton and I'm sorry, give me that guy's name one more time from Detroit.
Tim Boyle.
Tim Boyle, thank you. Tim Boyle, Andy Dalton. I do hope that both of you have a memorable Thanksgiving game. Bring some holiday cheer for the families, and then we can go ahead and we would be able to move on to the serious games after that.
All right, Jordan. Well, to close out the episode, let's go ahead and just very briefly go back to the offseason. Having our bye week and everything.
All right.
What's a move that you really want to see us make in the offseason? Give me anything. Draft, trade, free agent sign. What do you want? What do you want to see happen?
Well, we definitely are going to need to, because I'm just looking at off-season needs, right? I think the offensive line is going to be okay. I do believe that once we get all of our pieces back and we get everybody healthy, our offensive line could easily be one of the most improved offensive lines in the NFL. Definitely top 10. I love our wide receivers, if you will, especially bringing back Sutton, especially bringing back Patrick, especially having Judy and KJ Hamler and Kendall Hinton. Hopefully we'll still be able to get those guys back. So I love a wide receiving core. Running backs, absolutely in love with Javonte Williams. We both love the guy. And as much crud as you give MG3, I do like Melvin Gordon. Not necessarily the starting running back, but I do like him as the other option. He does show flashes here and there. And our tight ends, Noah Fant, hopefully he's going to be able to go ahead and after this bye week, he has had his time to really reflect on how this particular year has been. He's going to go ahead and have a strong particular start to the second half of the season. And Albert Okuwebanam, that Alberto, he's been doing well, and I love our tight ends. It's really that quarterback piece, right? That is going to be in question, or that we do have a few questions on as we move towards the second half of the season. Now, of course, when the Broncos get into the playoffs and we see that's either Teddy Bridgewater, and I do believe Teddy Bridgewater is going to be able to go ahead and have a strong second start, so it's most likely going to be him. As long as we're able to see Teddy, the good Teddy Bridgewater, that I remember from the New Orleans Saints a couple of years ago, if he has those similar performances, then really I don't have anything to change on the offensive side. So, long story short, it's not the offense that I really want to see upgrades from. It's it's the defense, because we are going to need to go ahead and we need to fill in the hole that, unfortunately, and I know Broncos country are still trying to get over it, but Von Miller, he's now no longer a Bronco. And we got to go ahead and accept reality, as painful as it is as a Broncos fan to say the words Von Miller is not a Bronco. We have to go ahead and we have to say it together. Von Miller is not a Denver Bronco. So we have to say it. You have to say it. I don't want to say it. Dreamy, dream. Listen. Donk.
I'm sorry.
Donk. We have to say it.
Oh,
Von Miller.
No.
Von Miller.
No.
Von
No.
Miller is not.
No. I'm not doing it. I can't.
Von Miller is not a. Von Miller.
No.
Von Miller.
It's not. It's not. No. It never happened.
Spence.
It's fake news.
Spence.
Don't do
it. Now, don't do that. Don't do that. Von Miller is not a Denver Bronco. So now we need to go ahead and look for his replacement. Do we find that in the draft, or do we go ahead and we trade for a piece? And that's honestly a question that, there's a couple answers that I have for. We can go ahead and play with the Jets, get C.J. Mosley. I do like him as the potential replacement for Von Miller. And, a couple of other things that we can also go ahead and take a look at is, I think our corners are fine, but what about the safeties? I believe Kareem Jackson is is one of our safeties. And while I do love him, he's not getting any younger. So we need to go ahead and we need to find some youth on that particular side of the ball as well. Of course, Justin Simmons is fantastic, and there's no need to worry about him. But, it's either going to be the safety or the linebackers that I really am going to be looking to address as we come into the offseason. What say you, Spencer?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. We need to bolster up our defense, get some linebackers, at least depth pieces back there. I think we addressed that in draft. Probably need to look for somebody to kind of take Chubb's place, because, as good as he is when he's healthy, he just hasn't been able to stay healthy. And it's been really unfortunate, because I like the guy a lot.
That is unfortunate.
I have his jersey. But yeah, I think
I have Von Miller's jersey. How do you think I feel?
Same as you, Jordan. Again, you keep bringing up the sads. But
Spencer,
anyways, we're moving away from that. We're not.
Gotta rip it off.
No.
It's like a band-aid. It's like a scar.
Jordan, stop. I'm trying to make a point.
Gotta rip it off.
Trying to make a point here. All right, so some linebackers, some edge rushers, cornerbacks, and then, of course, the quarterback position. There was a post on the Denver Broncos subreddit the other day. If you wake up, you're George Payton, what do? Well, my answer is, first off, let's assume it's the offseason. And I'm going to make one of two phone calls first. One of those is going to be to the Green Bay Packers to inquire about Aaron Rodgers. The second one is going to be to Kellen Moore to see if he's interested in being the head coach for the Denver Broncos, or at least interviewing for the position. Trying to engage how he feels about quarterbacks and everything, how, if Green Bay's willing to play ball, how Aaron Rodgers feels about him as a coach and everything, trying to get everything to mesh there. And, we're either going to sign a quarterback in free agency or through a trade, or we're going to draft one. And
Honestly,
I do think we can potentially keep Teddy Bridgewater for one more season. If we draft a rookie, definitely have him sit behind Teddy. He's a pretty experienced vet. Not a great quarterback, but, definitely has that locker room presence and has a mentality that you want a rookie to have. Okay.
Here's a theory, all right? So I'm George Payton. I'm having my nice cup of Busto, the best coffee in the world. And a thought comes to me. The Saints have locked up Taysom Hill, a quarterback and running back by trade, about 4-year extension. Well, we don't necessarily know what's going on with Jameis Winston. If I'm George Payton, I'm calling the Saints, and I'm taking a low-risk, high-reward trade call and bringing Jameis Winston to Denver.
Didn't the Saints sign him to like a 4-year contract or something like that?
Can I get a confirmation on that? Can I get a confirmation? I don't know about that. I don't know. I need a confirmation on that. No, it's a
never mind. It's a 1-year deal.
It's a 1 year
worth $5.5 million. Yeah, I mean,
low risk.
I don't think they do. I don't think the Saints let him go though. Because
no.
Huh? I do think he showed enough to warrant at least another contract, maybe 2 years or something.
You think Denver might say, you know what? I know you love New Orleans, but Jameis Winston, come to Denver. We can help you out a little bit. Yeah, you have to think about it like this. I know that
the coach and the offensive style we're gonna have.
I know there's some trepidations with Jameis Winston, but let's be 100% honest. When Jameis Winston was in Tampa Bay, this was not your Bruce Arians or your Byron Leftwich's Tampa Bay. This was your Dirk Cutter's Tampa Bay. And let's be 100% honest. Now listen, I don't like making fun of anybody. I'm sure Dirk Cutter is going to be a qualified head coach maybe in the future. Definitely a great quality offensive candidate somewhere in the future. But obviously he was not the guy for Jameis Winston. And, of course, we did see potential in New Orleans, so Denver sees that. And we're thinking, you know what? Jameis Winston's still relatively young. He's a little bit younger than Teddy Bridgewater. Bring him out for a cup of coffee in Denver.
Yeah. I mean,
especially if we have...
He would think about it like this. Than Teddy Bridgewater, for sure.
Think about it like this. Denver has to go defense in the draft. That is my ultimate opinion. We have to go linebacker or at least... Yeah, we have to go linebacker first.
No.
We have to. We have
to go quarterback.
Spencer.
I don't care if people see this as a class. We have to pick a quarterback first round.
Spencer,
no.
We have choices. Yeah, we have
choices between quarterbacks. If we pick defense again in the first round, then I'm saying it right now. We're not winning a Super Bowl for another 10, 15 years minimum.
Oh, you don't do this.
No, unless we're signing Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson or some free agent magical unicorn quarterback that is just by the will of the football gods available. We have to draft a quarterback in the first round.
Spencer, we do not need a Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson to take us to a Super Bowl. I will remind you,
if we could win with any quarterback, if we didn't need a caliber quarterback, we'd be winning games right now.
The last quarterback,
we lost the Eagles.
The last quarterback to take us to a Super Bowl was the last legs of Peyton Manning. I love Peyton Manning, and I respect him, and I love the fact that he spent his last couple of years as a Denver Bronco and rode off to the sunset with the Super Bowl. But let's be 100% honest, that offense was not the reason that Denver won us the Super Bowl.
Yes, but they still had the mind of Peyton running things at the line of scrimmage. That still accounts for something. I
understand. I understand that. However, when it's all said and done, Denver needs to re-up its defense, whether it's with C.J. Mosley from the Jets, who I like, or whether we get him from the draft, because, again, Von Miller's not coming back. And it's time that we all, as Spencer,
He might.
Spencer,
He
don't do
hasn't signed an
this.
extension with
Don't do
They've
this
been
to
talks about
yourself.
extension. They haven't had it happen yet.
It's not. It's
come back.
Spence. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. It's really not healthy, Spencer. You gotta let this go.
It's perfectly healthy. It's like
really gotta let this go. It's all right.
It's like when you get a burger without a bun. You know, you go to McDonald's, you ask for them without a bun. You know, just because it doesn't have the starchy bun. You know, you're all Gucci.
Question.
Yeah.
How come you're going to McDonald's for a burger? That's not good for you. Okay, that's not a burger. That's I don't know what that is, but that's certainly not a burger.
I mean, why not? You know, you eat it, and then 20 minutes later, your stomach feels like it's full of bricks, and you're inconstipated for 40. You know, it's great. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm sitting over the toilet.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Enjoy your meals.
Hopefully McDonald's isn't your tradition, in which case, boy, that is sad. There is not a turkey shortage, by the way. I went to my grocery store, and there were turkeys aplenty. Buy a turkey today, unless you're vegan, in which case, don't buy a turkey today. You do you, brother or sister. That'll do us today for the Donk and Dreamy show. Jordan, do you have any closing notes for the audience?
Audience, Broncos country, the sooner that we admit that Von Miller is not coming back, we can heal as a nation to prosperity and to the future Super Bowls. Let's take time right now just to say thank you to Von Miller for doing everything that he can to give us, to help us with the rebirth of this franchise after the McAwful years. However, he is not coming back. Right now, we need to go ahead and build. We have to go ahead and we have to build for the future. It's okay.
I will say,
thank
you, Von Miller. I will at least say that.
All right. And the sooner that you admit, Spencer, that we need to move on from Von Miller, the better that you'll feel, and we can all go ahead and heal together as the best NFL fan base in the world.
Well, Jordan, I appreciate you continuing to bring in the sads. We'll see you guys next time on the Donk and Dreamy show. Hail Peyton.
Go Broncos.